Hello, fellow gamers. I'm Gloryhound, and this is
DrGloryhogg. Did we have an intro? Did you do it?
I did it. That was it.
I wasn't looking.
We don't have a sponsor for our Kickstarter show yet, so
I was just sending cat pictures.
It's a super fast intro because there's no sponsor. So
Your
it's
super
like
fast intro to a longer and fulfilling campaign game.
Thank
with
you.
legacy elements.
Thank you. I am not a filler game, Dr. Gloryhogg. Is this how you want to start this stream today?
You're definitely a point salad. Because I feel like no matter what I'm doing, I'm failing in one of the categories. I can only succeed in one category at a time. Good father, doing pretty good in that one. Failing this other one over here.
Andrew makes a really, really good point. Aren't all of us in chat the sponsor? That is very true. That is very true. Our Patreon backers and stuff like that help out.
Or is it more like you're here for the intervention? Because I sometimes feel like we're all here to kind of be like, come on, guys, we know better. We could do better than this, but we can't because we're all here.
Oh, okay, so let's see here. Hello to our chat today. It looks like we have Battlecry in chat, Studio Lanniston. We have Andrew. We have Petter in chat. We have Stefan in chat. Yeah. We have, Dr. Gloryhogg in chat. Very, very nice. Hello to all of you today. We appreciate
Thank you for everyone in the chat, everyone watching today.
AAA sponsors, or
just
AA sponsors.
Yeah.
Sorry, double.
Hey,
we're not good enough for AAA.
I want to talk about something AAA related. I got a letter in the mail yesterday for AARP. They're about 20 years too early, but it still stung. It still stung. I was like, are you serious? That hurt. AARP, for people who don't know, is like a company that specializes in like senior products. I think you qualify when you're like 50 and you can start getting discounts on like rental cars and stuff like that. I know we're getting there, but they're early.
When you're 50, we're like
20 years away.
Yes.
Don't check my math.
Yes.
Can I just say,
the math.
I actually want to move to Britain just because of the way they say maths. They're like, yeah, there's some maths involved. Like, I love that. I am all in on that, saying maths with an S.
I like always learning how we just don't pronounce anything correctly. Like, that's always the best.
Our whole country just is effing up every word.
Aluminium.
It's aluminium. We're the only ones that say aluminum.
Yeah, that's
aluminum.
Just ridiculous.
Aluminum.
Hello, Stephen and Erwin. How are you doing? Let's see here. I need to back post-human.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So good, right?
That one definitely looked interesting.
55 to qualify. Okay. That's not too bad. They are still a little early, though.
Yeah, we're like 20 years away.
So moving on. Today we have our first Kickstarter, Elite. This is by Giga Games. Let me play the thing and let me silence my computer. Ta-da! This is by Giga Games. It's for 2 to 4 players. It should last about 45 minutes in this game here. This is like area control. Basically, the world has ended.
No, it hasn't ended.
Well, the world has gone to poop. Okay?
If you wouldn't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
I watched this video like 5 times because she picked the games this week, but this one does have an actual game trays option, right? So, of course, for doing social media stuff, I looked at it a couple times to make sure I kind of knew what the heck was going on.
Right.
Essentially what's happened is there was what they call the event. And when the event happened, billions turned to millions. So a lot of people died, right? It happens. And now what you're left with is a world that is completely ununited, right? Everyone's just kind of running around doing their own thing. And these elites have risen to power, and they're elites because they're super smart, I believe. I kind of want to feel like they're mutants, but I don't think they're actually mutants. I think they're just people that are smart. I think we got like an idiocracy type thing going on where like all the smart people died. And so now it's just like, I'm the smartest dumb guy, so I'm going to lead the world. I think that's what's happening. I'm not 100% sure. But essentially what's going on, these
I feel like
elites,
at this point, maybe you're making this up a little bit.
So these elites are all battling basically for the world and trying to unite it, which I feel like if they were all really smart, they'd realize that 3 or 4 of them could probably get together and run the world together, and there's enough resources for everybody, but they're not that kind of smart, apparently.
Oh, the event is someone trying to get all of the Gloomhaven and Frosthaven stuff in one box and exploding.
It would implode, technically. If you want to get technical,
that's what brought the billions to millions of people, because that is a serious event. And sadly, all the gamers have left the Earth, and now all of the very non-strategic people here are left to go ahead and kind of handle what's happening in the world.
Essentially what happened is I got a copy of Tainted Grail and a copy of Glama, and the two boxes touched it, and it caused a Big Bang type explosion.
Doctor, why would you do that? Why would you?
And it pushed our universe further away from the sun because we left the sun behind.
Why would you start End the World like that?
Just for fun. That's why I can never have those two games.
But in this particular game, you basically have a faction, and you're trying to take over parts of the land and stuff. But
you're trying to unite it, but you can do it through tyranny or through like politics.
You're trying to build a new world, basically.
Which tyranny is technically a politic. Not a great one, but it is.
So long and thanks for all the fish. That's where you'd be, Battlecry. You're like, peace, I'm out.
You know, if the whole world collapses, I'm just going to say that I think I would do okay. I feel like my time in the military has prepared me for one of these types of situations. You know, you just got to run around. I know what we did. Whenever we found a car we liked, we would just spray paint our unit symbol on it, and it was our car now. So I feel like it'd be the same thing. You just be like, oh, this car runs, it's my car now.
Omar makes a good point. This Kickstarter seems very unfocused from the description. I think they just may not have done a really good job of like fulfilling all the pieces. I feel like they have a game here in place, and then when they laid over the theme on top of it, possibly like there's just not a connection of everything going on here. Like it does connect, but it doesn't connect in a fantastical sort of way where it's an intriguing game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think the main issue is that it's just super generic. You're calling the game Elite. There's been a couple, I don't know, there's like 5 or 6 different games called Elite. So if you type in Elite in BGG, Board Game Geek, you're not going to immediately have this game pop up. There's other Elite games that pop up. So like you have to search for it. And then it's like the event happened, the end of the world, you have elites. These are all very like just generic names for things.
I'm laughing at chat here. So Omar says, correction,
I know Omar said.
From Gloryhogg's description, it seems kind of unfocused, and I totally get that. And then Petter says, is that how you get free ducks as well? You just go up and you spray paint them.
Listen, the government is lying to you. Ducks are free. You can go to any pond in your city and just take a duck home. They're free. Nobody owns those ducks.
Use spray paint on ducks. You have to use like some other like acrylic paint or something like that.
Hashtag ducks are free. Okay. Hashtag get yours.
Hello, Mepper. How are you doing?
I feel like it's been a while since I've done the hashtags.
So in this game here, you have your military, you have like some resource management going on, you're going to be taking over territories and stuff. It's a starting cost of $60.
$1 million.
$60.
I feel like this is one of those games
propaganda, because we backed some taxing.
We backed Age of Civilization.
Hello, Amanda. Sorry. Go ahead.
We backed Age of Civilization. That was kind of it seemed like it was a newer company making a game. There wasn't a bunch of fancy art or miniatures or anything like that in it. But that game was obviously a lot cheaper, and you could tell by the way the Kickstarter was laid out that the game was interesting because it had all these different civilizations and everything. I think with this one, the gameplay is probably decent.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to tell based off of just this Kickstarter campaign alone.
Yes.
This is like the quintessential, you have to play it before you can back it type of situation. I don't know enough about the game. I just feel like the whole time I'm scrolling going, okay, but like, how does the game work? How does the game work? There's not a whole bunch of reviews. There's not a whole bunch of playthroughs. It's very scaled back. And I think they are first-time creators, so I could see how that could happen. But there's just not enough here for me to instantly know, like, this is something I have to have. Like, I don't feel that sense of FOMO for it.
Right, exactly. And, you know, I'm curious to see, I don't remember if they're funded or not.
That's why you're laughing, because hashtag ducks are free, hashtag free Greg, hashtag Greg is a duck. Got it.
So you can at least download the full rules here and everything. Like I said, I think the game is very well put together. It's just as far as like, I do feel like there aren't a bunch of connections here where the theme of the game needs to be more fleshed out maybe a little bit.
Not so generic. Like calling things like the event, the elites, those are just very generic words. There's nothing to it, right? Like Steam Watchers is unique because it's the end of the world, but there's steam. Like that's an important part of it. There's ice and water and heat is important. Frosthaven. I mean, there's these games with names that make you think of something.
Right.
But just Elite, that could be anything. And there's already a Project Elite game. There's also other Elite. I mean, there's a bazillion. There's Elite game that's like E.L. You know what I'm saying? There's
going
a ton
into
of them.
That Elite sort of thing, they could have made this game about like the elite sort of group that rose up, and then they're trying to take over certain sectors and stuff. Like, there's more story that could have been there.
Or like a secret cabal, right? Like the people that are behind the government are still there, and so now they're going to take over like a shadowy organization or something.
Mm-hmm. So
the bookmark, the placeholder.
A great name for a bookmark. I love that, Omar.
Oh, and then Petter says the map is even a little bit of a pandemic risk looking, because it is just the world, right?
Yeah.
It's the world and the resources. So I don't know enough about this game to get excited about it. So it's hard for me to back it just based off of that. It's very hard to know what this game is actually going to give you, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to do. If I try to explain this game to somebody, like I watched that video like 4 or 5 times because I had to make the social media post for Game Trays. And I just didn't know like what to say. Like sometimes they come together easy, like, with, Elemental Uprising, Kingdom Rush. I'm like, the forces of, the elemental forces are overtaking the kingdom. Can you stand against them? Like, it's very easy to come up with something. With this, it was like, there's elites, and you are an elite, and you have what it takes for hand management and surviving worlds.
So Giga Games is a newer creator. They've created something else that did deliver to everybody, so they have what seems to be a really good track record and everything. But I would actually be excited to see this as a relaunched campaign and kind of redone, and maybe with a little bit lower ticket price on everything here, and like just a little bit more going into the game, and not necessarily the technical portion of it, but like the theming of it, and maybe a little bit on the art or something like that. Maybe being able to get it out to some people so I can see some gameplay and stuff, or like a TTS sort of thing, something else on this. So I'm unable to make a decision on this for $60.
You can make a good FOMO decision,
because of that, right? Exactly,
or
exactly.
A good informed decision.
So
you feel like you know what you're getting.
But I am happy to see that Giga Games does have a good track record. So if you are interested in this game, like that, okay, well, they've at least gone through this Kickstarter gauntlet once before, and having to get items from wherever they're going to get them and ship them to different parts of the country and stuff like that. So that's good.
And there's a pretty big difference between like the $60 versus the $100 one that comes with Game Trays too.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty big jump.
And here's the thing. I mean, we just saw Rune Lords at, what was it, $50 for a skirmish game?
Right.
It was $49.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is a strategy game that's $60. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm just not 100% sure if everything's lining up perfectly.
Right, exactly. So for me, it is a pass on this one. Omar says it's a pass as well. Swipe left. Mechanized Ducks are what Battle Cry want. And I feel like a mechanized elite board game, like strategy board game, would actually be a lot of fun. That would be awesome. Mecha Ducks versus the Cyber Goose. Oh my gosh, if ducks came, like the birds came back and like took over everything.
As robots also?
Yeah, like a robot chicken.
That's true. Okay, robot chickens
I would be super
scary.
down for that. But I usually love games like this, so I was kind of sad not to have that super excitement like fill my heart with this strategy style game here.
Right. I think it's more of the issue comes from the way the Kickstarter's laid out versus the game itself.
Yeah.
You just don't know enough about it. Oh my God, Fatal Paper Cut! We set up the beacon 13 minutes ago, Fatal Paper Cut.
Pass for me as well, says Petter. 60 is too much for risk without knowing the game. $30 I'd consider, absolutely. So,
correct, and that's what like Age of Civilization was. It was like a $30-ish game, and the Kickstarter was laid out in a better way that you could understand what's going on more.
Absolutely. Who let Fatal in?
It's a try before you buy.
All right, next up we have, well, not that one. We have this one. That one's for laters.
Go ahead and click on the video.
Okay, let me click on this lovely Queen's Game video that they always produce for their content. Oh my gosh,
There's
Queen
never
Games.
a video. Why?
I don't know. Queen Games is...
They will not make a video.
Queen Games is like, you know what? We don't have to make a video. Boom! Buy our games. And people do. People do.
I will say they have definitely figured out their program, right? Like they release the game, then they wait X amount of years, and they release a big box version with updated art and... maybe like a little tower and some expansions, and it's a big box, right?
I seen it. I seen the beacon.
We need to just like start knocking on your door. Be like, hey, we're going live.
Give us your number and we'll just text you whenever we
start calling you.
Give you a little call up before the stream.
That's the personalized service you get whenever you've got a small streamer. They will call you to make sure you're on live. They will call you.
Metro Big Box Deluxe by Queen Games is for 1 to 6 players. It should last about 30 minutes in this game here. You basically have trains on different sides of the board. You're trying to get them to the center in the basic game here, and you score points for how many tiles that they end up going through, or your track ends up going through. So if you loop through a tile twice, you're going to count that as twice as you go through and stuff. So that's how you're going. And then they do have expansions with it where you can do different things with the board. The big thing here with this deluxe sort of big box edition is you are definitely getting these nice little pieces here that go around the board, so your little pieces here don't slip and slide all over, which is really, really nice in games like this here.
It comes with acrylic tiles too in this one.
Oh yeah, for the deluxe one, you do get acrylic tiles, which...
Little see-through tiles.
I don't know what the acrylic tiles add to this particular
They're just nicer because they're not cardboard, so they won't get scuffed up the same way, I feel like.
Knock, knock, knock. Candygram.
Here's the deal. Fatal. Queen Games makes a lot of good games.
Yes.
I just don't think they ever make games that are really my style. There's a few that I played that I thought were, good, but I don't think I really own a bunch of Queen Games. And they're on Kickstarter a lot. They've definitely got a very specific way they do it. And I'm not going to fault them for that. It's not a FOMO-inducing way of doing it, though. Usually, if Alan was here, who's our Queen Games expert, he would say, wait till their next campaign because you can get it for cheaper. This one, I will say that I don't think that'll happen because they said they're only going to make 200 of them. Yeah. That is in there. Mm-hmm. They're only going to make 200 of this big box, and they'll do a different big box for retail stores, but not this one. But if you scroll down, you notice that you can get Metro along with their last Kickstarter on here as a deal also. Yeah, the Deluxe Alhambra, I think it was. Yes, the Deluxe Alhambra. And something to kind of let people know, if people follow this stuff, Game Trays typically does these inserts for these big box ones. They are not involved with this project, though. Oh, really? Yeah, they didn't request it, so. Interesting. Okay, so. Maybe it's because they're only doing 200 specifically, so they were like, we're not going to do it, but. In the Deluxe Big Box, you're going to get the acrylic tiles, you get the little stand here and stuff. Everybody's going to get these frame pieces, which I said are like the really, really important part here. 200, 2,000? Was it 2,000? I thought it was 200. Oh. It's up in there somewhere. I know that they had a very specific limited amount they were going to make. You're going to be getting the... Even 2,000 isn't that many. Expansions and everything. This game seems like it's right up my alley. It does, and I dislike these types of games. And you hate it so much, and you hates it so much. You hates it. Did I read it as 200 whenever... Wait, go back up. What does it say? It says right here. It says... no, that one says the Alhambra is a limited pledge also. They're only going to make so many of them. I don't know. You know what? You gain a 0, you deduct a 0. It's just is what it is. There's a limited amount is the point. So if you are interested, it might be worth getting. These games never hit me in the FOMO, like ever. And I know I've been saying a lot. So FOMO is fear of missing out for people that don't know my terms. That's what a lot of a Kickstarter is you feel like you've got to get the Kickstarter version of it because you won't be able to get as good of a quality when you get the retail version. And there's been lots of games that I feel like I could get it at retail or at the Kickstarter, and it's fine either way. I'm not sure this one sells me on the FOMO. I don't think I'm going to get something better. With Queen Games, I feel like they're pretty much, if you like Queen Games, you can get them at the store, you can get them on the Kickstarter. I feel like they're pretty much the same. It's not like with Tainted Grail where you're going to miss out on like 4 boxes worth of stretch goals. You're just going to be like, okay, I've got cardboard tiles instead of acrylic tiles. Sure. So this one here, you can play on TTS, which I was really excited about. Oh my gosh, they have a video in here? They have one video here, and it's from way, 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 way back in the day. The old one. Yeah, super old one. From the first Metro. It's Tom and I think Melanie on here. I think it was Melanie. But yeah, they end up going through it and everything. Melanie, is that Tom's wife? No, it's his daughter. Oh, I believe, unless I'm totally wrong, and I apologize. So. I don't know. Let's see here. Dale says FOMO's cost him a lot of money, but not this week. Not this week. The starting price on this is either $44 for the base set, or you're looking at $90 to get that big box deluxe version. I thought it was Melody, right? If it's not, no, what we should have done is this. We should have looked each other right in the eyes, gone like this, and gone. Melody.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm really bad with names, so if I'm
Even
like...
with the Q, she can't do it. No melody from her. It's not happening.
The melody's not happening.
I'm sorry, everybody. I tried to make a melody happen, but she's not doing it. You will not see her on TikTok doing melodies with people.
Let's see here. Definitely seen plenty of people refer to the trays in Anarchy Box as game tray, not close.
There is definitely a problem with the name game trays being close enough to game inserts that people use them interchangeably, although it is not the same. And yes, game trays did not do the Anarchy Box ones. You can usually tell. There's some very subtle things. If anybody wants to know, talk to me on Discord, and I can tell you how you can tell. Besides the giant G in the game tray that's usually listed on the insert itself, there are other ways to tell.
Secret ways? Are you saying that they secretly like put stamps
What
on
was
game
that
trays?
last? No, what was that last? No, because those are on purpose. There was what was that game that we got? Oh, it was the Dice Throne Adventures one that we got.
Yeah.
And you can tell because the plastic is straight. It doesn't flare. And since it's straight and it's thinner, they put cardboard around it. So underneath the lip of the actual plastic in that tray, there's cardboard ring around it because it's flimsier.
Right.
So game trays are typically thicker and they actually bevel out. It's a whole thing. I'm sorry.
Definitely.
I won't go into it. There's engineering involved in it, and I won't pretend I know all of it, but I know a game tray is when I see it. And that, sir, is not a game tray. That is a game insert in progress.
Yeah, look for the game trays logo.
That's the easiest way.
Or the beveling of the edges and everything.
Or send me a private message and I'll tell you. Don't do that. That would get really old really quickly. It's gotta have that
game
flair.
trays? I can just see that. That's
Is this a game trays?
Is this a game trays?
Is this a game trays? Yeah, I already have one kit. I'm good. Yeah, if it doesn't have at least 6 pieces of flair, then they're fired.
All right, Doctor.
Yeah, these games never super entice me, so I'm gonna have to say pass. Although they've done a lot of games. They're at like what 60 on just this Queen game account, and there's another Queen's game account.
They deliver and stuff like there's.
You know that, right?
You're gonna get your games.
There's like I think a Queen's Games like UK one or something
they have
too.
This
so
down.
they've got so many.
They have this down. I would love to get this game. I would
Really?
probably get it though at the 44. Yeah, because I like these style of games.
Why are you like
I like
this?
Throw of the Seven Seas too and stuff, and I like train games.
Throw of the
I
Seven
like...
Seas is okay. It's not bad, but
listen, this is a puzzling game. It's a puzzle game.
That's why. Why didn't you just get a puzzle like normal people? A jigsaw puzzle. I have jigsaw puzzles. Play those.
I don't want to play that. I want to play this. The other one is not. We're not going to fight to puzzle a game. To puzzle something together.
How many times have you almost slapped me for stealing the last piece so that I could be the last one to put the piece in?
No. Hold on, everyone.
We're not going to argue over a jigsaw puzzle.
This is the shystiness that Doctor does whenever we're putting together puzzles. Doctor will take specifically one piece and put it in his pocket just so he can fulfill the very last piece on a puzzle and get the instant gratification of finishing it.
I did it.
And that's rude and unfair.
What happened?
I could have worked on the entire puzzle and be like, oh no, I think a piece is like missing out of here. Like, what happened? And then all of a sudden, bam! Right there.
What happened with the bathroom when you retiled the shower? She couldn't get one of the top ones. She had me help. And so I said, cool, now I can say I also tiled the shower with you. 50-50, bro. Pow! And she was not happy.
That's not 50-50, Doctor.
That's close.
Not 50-50.
My name is, to be fair, my name is not give everyone appreciation for what they do. It's DrGloryhogg.
That is fair.
And I've been called that way longer than you have. So, to be fair.
Brilliant. Rude, but brilliant.
Yeah. You keep that last piece. Ain't nobody finishing that puzzle unless I'm involved. And then I can say, oh, yeah, I did a good job finishing that puzzle.
Yeah, it was terrible. It's terrible. It's horrible. So I really like this game because
I feel like it was fine.
It is a puzzling sort of style of game. I really like it. Whenever you're putting down your tiles, you're not just putting them down for your trains to go, but you're also trying to ruin everybody else's game during it. So it has the ruining of other people's games and making them unhappy.
That's it.
And
ding,
also
ding, ding. We found why you like it.
Together. Your own stuff to get points, and I love it so much. I want this game, but I would probably back it for like the regular one because I don't know if I need like acrylic tiles. Like acrylic tiles in Kohaku makes sense because you have fish and then all the little things on the tiles make sense because they're going to be like accountable for everything else in the scoring in the game, and it's like pretty and aesthetic. But with this game, I don't know what the acrylic tiles add to it.
Have you never seen an acrylic train before? I mean, I think that's pretty much, everyone thinks of that. They think of high-end plastics when they think of trains. They should be metal pieces.
Making people unhappy sounds like a Euro game sometimes.
That's her favorite thing. That's why. Because as soon as she said, and I can ruin other people's games by playing my best game, that's when I knew.
That was it. So,
anyone who watched Rococo last night can see her buy extra fireworks spots that she didn't even need. Didn't need them. She bought them just so I couldn't have them. How'd that hate drafting go for you, by the way?
if I would have hate drafted one more time, it would have been much better.
You still would have lost.
Hate drafting, yeah, but I would have felt really, really good about it. It would have felt really satisfying.
I don't think you can mine tin in this. I think this is a tinless game, so what's the point?
Battlecry says they love the TikTok videos if someone comes up to the finished puzzle and slams it into the wall. Wow. That's a good way to lose all the pieces, Battlecry, you monster.
When I worked in a call center at one point in time, I used to do puzzles at work, when I'd be talking to people, and I would always do these 2,000, 5,000 puzzle things that had to be on multiple boards, they had to be on multiple pieces of boards, right? I'd have these at my desk, and I would just have pieces of puzzle, and then I would just stack them on top of each other, and then I'd be like, see? These would all go together if I had more desk space, and then I'd put them back together and unpiece them and then start a new one. Yeah, I get bored.
Good, let the hate flow through you.
She didn't even need that fireworks spot. She had no one to go visit it. That was an empty spot on the veranda.
I told you that we needed to have distance on the terrace, okay? So I wanted my people properly distanced in according to that 6 feet rule. So I needed all those spots, everyone.
You're just mad that I sent my most fancy person with the best coat ever to the most expensive fireworks spot. And he got to see better fireworks than you because he was to the right. And everyone knows when you stand to the right of somebody, you get a better fireworks experience.
I did not know that.
It's a whole extra, yeah, it's 3 times better.
I did not know that. Oh, okay. So, Doctor, would you back this?
Sorry, I'm laughing. No, hey, if you love Queen games, go for it. I've played a few. They're always okay. They're never must-haves for me. So, no, I'm okay.
I want to back this at the $44 level. I want to back this.
Don't point at people.
Chat, are you all backing this? I want to know. Who's my Queen's game fans
Alan.
out there?
Alan.
Oh, that's right. Where's Alan?
Alan is always the one that's talking about Queen games.
All right, moving on today, we have the Forest of Radagost. Petter says pass on the last one. Okay.
That's because Petter knows what's up. One day, me and Petter are going to meet at a convention. We're going to play the best games.
Just say no, says Battle.
The best games.
All right, the Forest of Radagost. This is by Glama Games.
Brand new.
This is for 1 to 7 players. Should last about 45 to 90 minutes. This is a storytelling game where it's really, really interesting. You're going to be going through a forest and not necessarily able to choose all of your movements in the beginning because you're rolling dice. You're kind of wandering through the forest. You don't know where things are at. You're running into people and creatures. So you don't know exactly what all is out there. And then as you start leveling up or gaining actions and things you can do throughout the forest, you get a little bit more powerful. You're able to move a little bit better through the forest and everything. But this is based on dark Slavic fairy tales, which I think is really, really interesting.
But the art's not particularly dark. It's not like Tainted Grail dark. It's not grim dark. It seems like it's a weird
not
mix.
Like super fairy tale.
Which we'll get into it, but it's in this game, it seems like you're either a muscular, well-dressed man or a very childlike looking woman. That's your options.
Right. Okay, well, we'll get into that a little bit later. So in this beginning portion here, this doesn't actually show off the game. This goes through more of the story-based portion of the game. So we're going to go ahead and skip over this. Usually we would watch the whole thing through.
But it's 4 minutes.
It is 4 minutes of
I ain't
story.
got that kind of time.
And the story was very, very good. I mean, look at this creepiness right here. Very, very good.
That looks like the nothing in Neverending Story.
Oh, that's true. This is from a first-time creator. And let's see here. Oh, starting price is $49 on this game here.
Fatal Paper Cut says Slavic myths are already kind of dark. So to call them dark Slavic is kind of redundant.
I guess that's fair.
You don't want to be all redundant.
I would imagine Pan's Labyrinth sort of dark, where it's still like a fantastical fairy tale, but also
But
like
the fairies might bite.
Yeah, the fairies are also going to hurt you or look creepy. Go ahead.
I feel like there's two different options, right? You can run across a mermaid that'll be like Ariel from Little Mermaid, and she'll take you on this brand new adventure, and it's going to be amazing. Or you run across the mermaid that's very good looking in some kind of still pond, and then as you get closer, she bites you and drags you underneath.
Right.
I feel like you've got the two choices there. Me personally, I'm all about the mermaids that might murder me.
Yeah, murder mermaids are, like, there needs to be a game based on murder mermaids. I would play that because that is, like, the most awesomest, fantastical fairy tale thing ever. I love all the art for the murder mermaids.
Oh, are you swimming? Oh, what's going on? Ah!
It's like, I love, there's one where there's, like, some sort of, like, tentacled beast that has, like,
Underneath
the mermaids that, are on the tentacles.
Yeah.
And, like, that's how they eat, is they lure it in like that. Oh, that art is, like, so amazing. I love it so much.
I've seen the cool ones where they're, like, really good looking on top, but then they have, like, a giant mouth, like, right underneath the water. It's like that top part is, like, a lure. And then you come in close, and then it goes...
And then it grabs you with bloody re-themed to mermaids, right? Murder mermaids, that, I'm telling you, like, that is an untapped theme, everyone, right there. Murder mermaids, okay?
Yeah, strange women laying around in ponds, giving out swords. There's no form of government.
Dark, evil mermaids, like fanged sirens. How awesome would that be to see, like, the mermaid in the water all pretty, and then, like, it comes up, and then you can see their mouth, and it's, like, full of jagged teeth and stuff. Ooh, it would be so good. So good.
This one was super interesting to me because I don't know a ton about... well, hello.
Hello to the game together.
I don't know a ton about all the Slavic myths, right? Besides, like, some of the generic ones. And to be fair, I mean, you start looking at the Slavic countries are really close to, like, European countries and Irish countries. So I'm sure there's a big mishmash of stories that we've heard, and who knows where they come from. But I don't know as much. So it's kind of interesting to think that there's going to be creatures that I haven't seen, right? I'm not going to run into Bigfoot. I'm going to run into all these other creatures that might have different names than I'm used to. So that's always interesting. It's not just... oh, I ran into a dragon. Oh, I ran into a goblin. So it is nice to have a different theme.
Dale, the casual gamer, says, coming to Kickstarter in 2022, Murder Mermaids. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It would be so fantastical, right?
I do like the general art style they went for, except for one particular part.
The art in this is beautiful. It has, like, that fantasy sort of theme to it. And then once you start getting down to the bad guys and stuff, it starts getting... creepy and everything. I love the story portion of it where you don't know exactly who you're going to run across, and so you have to prepare yourself in different ways for what you think you might get going along.
Right, because you have to make all your decisions before you flip over the token that tells you what you're fighting.
Exactly, because you have these little tokens here. Very cool.
The idea that you're in the dark forest back in the day before we had technology and everything else, where the forest was a scary place where you went to die.
Yes, yeah. Well, back in the day, that was important because you don't want your kids running off somewhere, and then so you basically, like, threaten them with, like, do you want to be captured by murder mermaids? Yeah, that's why you don't run off in the forest near a pond, because murder mermaids will come after you, okay? And that's how you did it back then, okay? That's what you did.
You definitely don't do it now. You see somebody in a van, you run the other way. You see a clown, shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah, the minis are really, really sweet. So...
There is a weird thing about the minis, though.
The minis are fantastic looking.
When you get to all the female characters, they look like some kind of weird Slender Man thing going on. Like, they spent all this time making these really intricate, like, dogmen and wolves and all these things, right? They have all these details, and then all the women are just like these long skeletal things that I'm very confused by. Like, is that the Swarm Queen from the Zerg? Right there, Omla. The next one down.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, she looks like the Swarm Queen Kerrigan from the Zerg from StarCraft. Like, just all long arms and legs. And is she attractive? Is she here to murder me? I'm confused.
Okay, so...
which is usually my jam.
Here, let's go ahead and... Doctor and Gloryhound, how does this compare to other first-time Kickstarter projects that you've come across? It seems very well put together. Yeah. The only thing I have to say about Glama games is I didn't see a whole lot of social media stuff from them.
Right. The pre-marketing.
Right, exactly. And so that always concerns me a little bit, but I'm not sure if the concern, like, outweigh what it is, because, like, it seems like a really well put together Kickstarter and everything. And I think they had a bunch of different people review it, so you know there's review copies out there. Yes. The starting price on this game is $49. However, I do have one...
That is the standy version.
That's the standy version. That's right, not
Yeah,
the
it's
miniature
like
version.
$30 for the miniatures alone, I think.
Whoa, is that a reverse centaur? Yes. It's very cool. Now, I do have one issue though. If you are a person in this game and you are young and a female and old and a female, you are able to have clothes. If you are
middle group, no
anywhere in the middle of that, you do not get to have clothes, and I'm not really sure why.
Well, so when we were looking at this, from my perspective, I just rolled through it, and I'm always more focused on the monsters, right? So we're going through the monsters, I'm like, yeah, cool. I didn't really put it together that most of these female characters are just like weirdly naked, like the Forest Mother. Like, why is she? Why my kid said, why isn't the Forest Mother look more like Groot, like more tree-like, right? Fair.
Basically, because I have my perspective. I know Dr. Gloryhogg has their perspective. You all have your perspective.
I don't think about it as much.
I brought in a third perspective. I took our 10-year-old kid in here, and I had them go through all of this just to kind of see what they thought of all of the creatures. I had them go through every single one and comment on all of them and what they thought about all of them.
And here's the thing, Studio Laniston. I'm not a modest person. I wouldn't say you're a very modest person. We're probably more on the other side of that than most Americans. But what I don't get is it's just like all the women characters in a certain age demographic.
Yes.
Like the witch is all like skeletal and she's got like all this intricate clothes, but all this forest spirits and the fairies and the Forest Mother and all those female bad guys are all like these weird, super slender, like monster things that are like kind of attractive, kind of not. I'm just confused by it. It's like they picked a whole different art style for just those characters specifically, and I don't know why.
We game together. I'm assuming we game together as Ellen. She says, yeah, let's get some clothes on them. Here's the thing. So if I was presenting this game on the table to a group of people, am I going to be able to explain why only the females in this certain age range don't have clothes on?
Battle Cry says because kids and old people are always cold.
That's fair, Battle Cry. I am not modest. I am like, I think everybody should be able to wear and do what they want and everything. As far as the actual reasoning though behind some of this, I'm like, okay, yeah, like maybe a creepy mermaid, maybe a murder mermaid. Yeah, maybe they wouldn't be clothes.
Or
that's
the
cool.
Earth Mother we kind of got. But the Earth Mother, I mean, if you want to get talking about like realistic Earth figures and mother figures.
It should be like the Venus figurine.
Right.
Earth
it's usually
Mother,
like
right?
very, what was that? The hourglass shape, right? Like childbearing age and stuff.
So it just seemed odd to me personally going through because the minis are amazing. I love the angular features of them. Like the sculptor is an amazing sculptor. I love the art in this, okay? And I love art in general. However, it seems like the sculptor in this definitely leans one sort of way. A very, very skeletal witch with a very well-endowed area. And then all of the female characters in this age range just being totally nude for no reason at all. And so, like, why put the labor and intensity into this figure right here that has awesome chainmail and this creepy tongue hanging out and
like
stuff?
Like an earring or something, a wicked sword.
Which is just so badass.
A claw,
so
like a
cool.
dew claw. Like
so cool.
All these things.
And then this almost seems like lack of like imagination almost.
They all look very similar. But here's my thing. I feel like if you were, like, this is the Ruskala, right? If you took the Ruskala and she had no hair and she didn't look like wasn't presenting feminine, right? I feel like it would just look like some creepy Slender Man. Now,
here's the thing. Like, if you go ahead and get, like, Pan's Labyrinth, the fairies in Pan's Labyrinth were nude fairies, creepy as heck. Creepy as heck.
So that's your line, nude but creepy.
No, well, I didn't think twice about it because it wasn't like the fairies didn't look like well-endowed females. They looked like naked, like slender females, but were also creepy as heck because you were bringing that grim darkness into it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm okay with that, and I can explain that to somebody. But this I can't explain to somebody, and bottom line, if I'm at a board game convention, this is not a game I'm going to bring up because I don't know the people who I'm gaming with, and I'm going to be like, hey, let's go ahead. I don't know who I'm going to offend with this game. Like, that limits the people that I can play with the game.
It's more like an abundance of caution. Right.
You know?
I mean, we looked at it, and then we had the kid look at it. The kid's 10, right? And we were like, which one of these characters is cool? And they were like, I want to be the wolf or the dog person, or maybe the witch.
Which are cool.
But like,
they said they'd be the witch, yeah.
none of the other ones are super enticing, which isn't something I typically think about because there's always like 10 choices for like buff guys that I can play as.
Ellen says people can be who they want, and I tend to be more modest. I really don't want to use those particular minis with my son, and that's just me.
That's fair.
Absolutely, and that's
the main reason why we stayed away from Kingdom Death Monster, because it was just a whole bunch of male phallic symbols on a thing, which doesn't personally bother me. I'm like, whatever, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to spend money on playing against that.
And Mepper says, one of my only complaints about Aetherfield's minis was there were many half-attractive female and half-animal characters that were like nude and stuff. But these seem a little bit better than those. And I agree. We actually backed Aetherfield's, and I'm usually pay a lot of attention to that sort of stuff because I know that I have a kid at home. I know that I'm in media and I'm possibly going to be showing these games to other people. I'm probably going to be playing games with my mom like this. I'm probably going to be playing games like this with, like, this is not a game I'm going to be able to play with my kid and have them feel totally comfortable. Because as we were going through these, they're like, why is this like this? Like, why?
Like, why is the Earth Mother standing like this?
That was the most concerning one for the kid, was like, they were like, this seems, and not in their words, provocative is what they were trying to get to. They're like, why is this like this? Like, why? Why? And they just kept on going back to that. So that was their take on it. And that shows me that this is not a game I'm going to be able to introduce to everybody, which is sad because I love dark fairy tales. And I love what they're doing here. The other figures look amazing.
Hey, look at all that business. That's pretty sweet.
I know. Like, look at all the detail in those. You can see like all the chainmail. You can see all like the feathered pieces and leather and fur, and like the sculptor's amazing. I just don't know. I don't know. So, and it makes me sad because I really want this game. This game was going to be like my #1 this week because I love storytelling games.
So this is what kind of stood out to me. This is where I kind of noticed it, honestly, because when you look at all these characters here, you got like the nameless, right? These are your player characters. And then you've got this person here. Like there's really only this one character. She looks childlike, and I don't know why she looks
and that's
so
why I'm saying, like, you have
childlike. And then you've got like, and then there's old herb eater. Like she's all like, it looks like an old witch. So I'm just, I don't know. It seems like they picked a completely different art style just specifically for the women.
Brings up a really good point as well. I feel like they needed to be more dynamic in poses at least. And I agree, yeah.
They all look like Slenderman. They're all like this.
Yeah.
They're all super skinny and skeletal and weird.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what they were trying to go for in the art sense in all of this. And I would be totally fine if it was just like, okay, you know, the murder mermaid person, you know, is half nude, and that would be okay. That would be understandable. But every single one,
it's a creature that's in the water all the time. It's more fish, like, or whatever. Yeah, I could see it. I mean, it makes sense, and the story seems cool. I watched a little bit of the gameplay. I feel like this is almost supposed to be better as like a book just to read through.
Oh yeah.
Right, just because the storyline seemed cool, and when you roll the dice, you never know if the dice is going to take control and make you move left, right, or if you'll have freedom of control. And I like some of the things they were trying to go through with this. I just didn't 100% feel like this was like an amazing game.
Here's a really good question. Would you feel interested enough in the game to get the standees and not the minis? And that's a really good question, Omar, because I specifically looked on here for the standees because I want to see how the art was with the standees, because I was like, oh, we could just get standees and not have it be like a thing, and that would be fine.
How are they going to represent those standees? Are they going to be worse?
Well, I didn't see the art in it, so I don't know. I can't make a decision.
Right, like I don't know if the standees are going to actually be almost worse, because then they're going to actually be drawing it. So is it, because like a nude mini that has no definition and is all gray is different than a flesh-colored out actual thing. I think that would almost be more.
Hello, Kabuki. And Fatal says, I am all in on this, and I totally understand. This seems amazing. Like this character right here is my favorite character, everyone, because I love this staff so much. And you know the cute little pupper here. Oh my gosh, and he looks like a grand elf or something like that.
He's a village elder, right?
I just want to be this person right here because they look amazing, and they have a friend, and they have a bad ass staff here. Like, I just want that. Just replace them with nude minis from Legos.
No, just replace the nude minis with Legos instead.
There you go. There's solving problems for everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, there are standees. I just wonder if the standees will actually make it even more pronounced because it's going to be colored instead.
I want to see the standees, because if the standees are good, I'm going to second look at this, although I am just not inspired by the direction that they took in the female characters. All of the other characters are fine. Like, they all look amazing and creepy, and I love it so much, okay? So, I don't know why this reminds me of the Daughter of Smoke and Bones for some reason. What is I've never heard of that. Daughter of Smoke and Bones?
No,
You know what that is? I don't know what that is. Yeah. So, it makes me sad. It actually makes me sad that would be like a reason I would not want to back this, because I love the dark fairy tale sort of thing. And I love the story base of the game, and I love that you actually are going to feel like you're going through this forest in an unknown way because you don't know which direction you're going to go in and stuff and what's going to happen. Like, I love that. Like, so thematic.
I'm interested in it, but not enough, I think, to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably go for the standee version or something to see if I really like it. But when we've got so many other really good campaign games out there, I'm less excited about this one than some of the other ones, right? I would rather go Journey in the Middle Earth.
How weird is this? This is such a cool idea. Like, so odd, right? Like, oh, I love it.
I'll just look up the Slavic myths myself, I think.
My kid wanted to be this person right here. This one right here was awesome as well.
Powerful demon.
Yeah, right? So cool.
Oh, I just kicked the dog.
All right, everyone. So
that's all of our Kickstarters this week.
Going to pass on this one. Doctor, would you be backing this? Chat, are you backing this? I know that, what was it, Fatal Paper Cut is?
No, I think I'm only interested in one this week that I really want. This was my second favorite one, but I wasn't in love with it. There's a lot of things I like the idea of more than I actually think I like it personally. There's some cool things. You know, it didn't 100% sell me. Mm-hmm. It just didn't 100% sell me.
And I play games with everybody, so the fact that I would have a game on my shelf that I would limit from people or from my kid or something like that, then like that's just not going to be a thing for me.
See, I think Omar hits it, right? It's like the minis that aren't women are really well defined and imaginative, and then all the women minis are just kind of like...
Omar, that's 100% my thing. That's like the 100% it, is all the other minis are so creative and so amazing, and just like, it's like I'm so excited about all of those minis, and then I get to these other ones and I'm like, what happened? What happened here? I want the same treatment of these minis into this mini because I want that fantastical dark features and things happening here. Like, I want that.
I would be all in if they just like...
Easy week. Just Kingdom Rush, says Patrick.
If they would have changed up some of the female minis, like even the Earth Mother could have been fine, or one or two of them, but since it's like all the young females are all very much the same.
And just just not as much imagination put into them. Like, there could have been more imagination.
It's really easy to make this in design. I think even I could probably sculpt that.
Yeah. It's sad that somehow women equals men in this design. And I agree. And that's kind of where I came to.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I'm not going to lie. I think you can do a lot more with the female body than with the male body, but that's just me. I feel like all the good stuff could happen there.
Pepper says, I'm skipping all of them this week. I'm looking at Bandana. Ooh, Bandana. I haven't seen that one. I'm going to have to go look. All right. Next up.
Speaking of tentacled beasts.
Next up. Oh, come on. Come back.
Nope, it's gone now. You lost it forever.
Ta-da! We have Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising. This is by Lucky Duck Games. This is for 1 to 4 players. It should last about some minutes to some other minutes, okay?
That's very specific.
This here is a castle defense sort of style game. We actually played a playthrough of the original Kingdom Rush on our channel. So if you're interested in that, go check that out after the stream. And basically in this game here, you're pushing along your little bad guys that are going along, and then you have heroes and stuff, and you have towers that are creating this defense or shooting at these heroes as they go along, or not heroes, shooting at the tiles as they go along.
It's a tower defense game. You have hordes coming through, and you're using your towers and your heroes to defend and defeat the monsters before they get through and deal damage to your city on the other side, essentially.
So, what are your thoughts on this one, Doctor?
So I have been in love with Kingdom Rush since the first Dice Tower West. We got to play the prototype. I really liked it. It came out. We got the Kickstarter. I played it. I really liked it. We played it on stream. I died within 15 minutes. We played it on stream again. I died within 15 minutes again. Amazing. Even though I keep dying, it was still a lot of fun. I would definitely play it again. I really, really like Kingdom Rush. It's the best tower defense game I've ever played.
Yeah.
After playing this board game, I actually went and got the app, and I played the crap out of the app and like maxed out all the stars on that and everything, which I should probably re-download it and play it again now. It's been long enough. But I like those types of games on my phone, and so it was really cool to get to play that in person, and it makes it so much harder. I can seem to always win them on my phone by the skin of my teeth. In person, you just die, and that's okay, because it was fun. That's fun. And this version of it, not only is it a standalone, it comes with game trays in it. The biggest complaint I had about the other one is that it took you over 3 hours to sort it and try to get it to fit into 2 boxes, and it still looked like a mess.
Yeah.
It still looked like a mess. And man, once we got it out, like I left the room for you to put it back up because I was like, this is too much. It's too much. I couldn't do it. This one comes with game trays, so I know it's going to go together well. You can buy a separate Game Trays Emperor pledge that's just $30 that comes with all the organization for the first one. But this is a standalone, so if you missed the first one and you don't want to go crazy and go all in on it, you can get just this one. And this one adds a couple really cool things, like passive hero abilities.
And just as a note, this one is on GameFound. So if you are on Kickstarter and you're looking for it right now, it's actually on GameFound. So make sure to check out that for this particular crowdfunding piece, okay?
I can see what Omar's saying. A lot of people have gotten the game and haven't played it enough to make a decision on this one. That's fair. I feel like a safe bet is always the organizer, if that's something that really matters to you, of course. I like that this one adds more characters. It adds some passive abilities, so the characters play a little bit more differently than before. The heroes are cross-compatible, so kind of like if you get like Arcadia quests, you can play them in any scenario. Same type of thing. You can play these heroes in the first Kingdom Rush, those heroes in this Kingdom Rush. I think if you didn't back Kingdom Rush the first time because you missed it, but you were interested, you gotta back this. Just 100%. Or if you played the first one enough, a few times to know that you like it, for me, this is a safe bet. Even though I've only played the first one like under 10 times, probably more like 6 or 7 times, I know I'm going to play it eventually. So it feels like this is a safe back to me because I know I like it. I know I like Lucky Duck games. I know it's going to have a good organizational set. It's going to give me more of what I like. So it just seems like really super easy for me to decide.
Amanda says, and all the characters have clothes.
Except for this guy.
Helpful.
Except for the magma.
Well, the clothes just burn right off of them, okay?
Yeah.
So
like
that's
this magma elemental guy here, like he's got tough, so you have to do like 1 damage square to him each time.
So messed up, right?
So yeah, he's just gonna walk through, and there's also elemental factors, like there's like certain flowers that can help out by damaging the hordes. There's lava flows that can happen and like kind of take out part of your map and make it where it's hard for your heroes to get through. What this game adds is it makes your hero moving around the board more important. Because in the first one, you could kind of set your hero in one spot and do your thing. This one, you do need to move around a lot more with your hero, which is kind of cool that they've incorporated that. And it's just a whole new set of bad guys. You can just kind of mix and match and do all kinds of stuff.
Let's hear. Okay, so first off, Andrew says, I backed it. I missed the original and saw all good things. Absolutely. And I think that's kind of where it's delivering. People are seeing it. And they're like, oh man, I missed that. And I'm going to jump on this. And then the people that have played it are like, all right, now I'm going to go ahead and jump on this here. We have We Game together. Okay, so I was driving. I couldn't message now, but I'm parked. So I want to mention how I'm so happy women in the hobby are like, hey, make us look cool.
That's fair. Because my kid said, the first thing my kid said to me after looking at it, she goes, I would rather play that character in your game. And I was like, which game? She's like, Valhalla.
Yes.
So she wants to play as the female character in Valhalla because if you were the male or the female, they both look BA. They both look really cool.
Oh, yeah. And they both have, and she's like the one with the war paint and stuff and like all these things. So,
let's be real. Everybody who played Skyrim wanted to marry Alila or whatever, the female hunter in the Companions Guild with like the black face paint across and stuff. She was by far the best because she looked the coolest. By far.
All right, so Studio Lanniston, I'm pledging for it right now, definitely getting the storage box for the Rift in Time, assuming the storage box is made for Elemental Uprising. Not actually, okay, yet.
So it does. The Elemental Uprising comes with game trays in it. Look at the pledge to make sure, but the $79 deluxe pledge comes with game trays in it.
Petter says, I want to try before I buy on this one here. Let's see here.
Did Greg take over Petter?
What?
Nepper said they like the quote from that one hero, "You fight like a dairy farmer." Oh, Nepper knows a very strong dairy farmer. That's scary.
The cool-looking female miniature should be coming next week with the Zombicide Western next week. Ooh, I can't wait to see those ones. I'm excited about that one.
That'll be interesting. I have not bought really into Zombicide. I played the original and I thought it was okay.
That was because, hold on, you have to frame that in the right way. So that is specifically because we have Zombie 15, which is a heart attack in a box, and playing any other zombie sort of miniature game after a heart attack in a box seems pale in comparison to that.
That's true.
So that is why.
I feel like the two best zombie games out there for us is Zombie 15, which is like you've got 15 minutes and you're probably going to yell at somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And then like Dead of Winter, because of that, it's this big complex game where you can die just by going scavenging. You can roll a die and die, and I think that's cool.
So Zombicide is still a good game. However,
it didn't really.
There's other games that we have that just are the same sort of thing, except better for us. So
I feel like I had a lot of expectations for Zombicide that just weren't met.
Greg possesses Petter, so Greg. Okay, let's see here.
This one also has, so instead of just upgrading the towers from like level 1 to level 2, you get to add stickers to kind of modify them.
Yes.
Which you could take the stickers on and off because they got little baby suction cups.
I thought the stickers were so cool. Kabuki Kid still does not own any zombie games. Why not? Do you not like the zombies? I can understand that. I don't like zombies, but I need zombie games.
And I like that you could give the normal militia guys that just normally do like 1 damage, you can give them like throwing daggers. So they're just like, huh, 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 so they have a range attack. Or you can give them swords so they can do like more damage and stuff. And the mage towers can be upgraded like multiple times. Most of the towers can only be upgraded like once. It adds a whole bunch more to like a whole bunch of things you would have seen in the video game or the app into this game. It just seems like it just gives me more of what I want.
The main game is so cool. Whenever I first heard about them doing another big box immediately after this, I was like, what are they going to add to this? Like, what can you add to this? And I have to say, I am very pleasantly surprised by the things that they've come up with in adding to this game. I was like, okay, I love all these things, okay? The base price on this is $74. You get this big box set of stuff, which is very, very good because all of the stuff that Lucky Ducks is making is very quality. So let's see. I still don't have any Come On games with minis in them. Oh, okay. I would like Dawn of the Zeds. So that one, oh yeah, I want Dawn of the Zeds too. I ended up downloading that on, I think it was Tabletop Sim or something like that.
So for me, this one seems like an easy choice, right? Like it's just, I already know I like the game and it's going to give me even more options and cooler things to do.
Micro suction technology, which is really interesting.
It's Cthulhu arms.
So they suction cup it, like micro suction cup the stickers on.
So you can peel them off.
It's interesting, yeah.
And they're giving you 2 sets of stickers too.
Which is very, very interesting.
So that way, for peace of mind, there's 2 sets of stickers.
I really like this. I don't know how Lucky Duck keeps on coming up with like these really interesting things to add to games. It's almost like a Gamelin Games sort of thing. Like Gamelin Games comes up with a new and interesting idea every time they lay out a game. So I'm always like, I'm not backing another Gamelin game. And I'm like, I'm backing this like immediately after because it's a new and interesting sort of mechanics that they've added to it in such a small thing. Like it's just very interesting.
All this did was make me super excited about it. One thing I will say about this for people who say it's too soon because they haven't had enough chance to do the other one, it's still going to take them a year to produce this game. So you're not going to see this game until 2022 anyways.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind. You know, maybe bust out your Kingdom Rush this weekend and play it and know if it's something that you want to go all in on this one. You've got a couple days.
All right, so, Doctor, would you back this game?
No. I mean, yes.
I was like, wait, what?
I was seeing if you were paying attention.
You were testing me to see if I was listening to you? That's rude.
Yeah, I was just seeing if you were listening. Yeah, no, I would totally back it. For me, this seems like the smart decision to make. I mean, to get to back a standalone expansion to a game you already know you like just seems like easiness.
Let's see here. Okay, so why not buy or give sleeves to the people where you can put stickers on it instead of removing the stickers? You can remove the sleeves. The combination of sticker combos is
if
low.
the combination of all sticker combos is low.
Okay.
That is definitely a different way of doing it, but then you've got some that have sleeves, some that don't. It's just design choice, really. I'm sure part of it, it's like when Dwelling said the cardboard tops. It was more just to see if it worked. And if it worked, it could become a new industry standard.
And let's see here. Wait, Lucky Duck. Duck, I see a Lucky Duck in the park. Can I just take them because they're free?
Yes, you can. If you see an employee from Lucky Duck in the park, you can just take them.
Hello, Best of Star Trek. Welcome to chat. And hello, Cohen. So, Best Star Trek says, let's see here. My face is dry. Already, fresh out of the shower. Let's see here. Removes the stickers. Oh,
no, so Best as Star Trek was saying how they were crying earlier because they got beat up, I think. They got beat at, what was it, like Honey Buzz or something the other night?
Honey Buzz is so good. So good. So, removes the fear that the stickers will come off over time. Oh, with like the protecting things.
So Cohen is saying that if you do sleeves instead, it removes that fear because you can just take a sleeve on and off easier. But then sleeves can break, and they do give you 2 sets of these, and the little suction cups come off. You're only supposed to have the upgrades on there when you're going through the campaign. As soon as you're done with the campaign, you're supposed to take them off. So.
Okay. What's the story behind the chubby unicorn shirt? It's, what is it? Can't stop, don't stop, I think. It
says can't stop, won't stop. It's just a unicorn that's hungry.
Listen, everybody is like a little unicorn, and you can eat as much cake as you want, okay?
Whenever they make decisions versus sleeves versus not, there's always some reason behind it. I know, like, one of the big complaints people make about inserts sometimes that they don't fit sleeves, but a lot of times if there's enough cards in the game, adding sleeves adds like 75% more height to the box.
Yeah.
And so when your box can be this big or this big, like Parks, for example. Parks is only this big because it's not meant for sleeves. As soon as you add sleeves, that game went up to this high, and they were like, we don't want a big box. We want ours to be a small, compact, easy-to-travel box.
There's a lot of people who really love sleeving their games, but I specifically do not like sleeving games because when you have a stack of cards and they are all sleeved, and you put them on the table, and if the stack is big enough, they're just like all whee! Yeah. And like it becomes like a slip and slide on your table, and I don't want to chase my cards.
Here's my philosophy. The money you save not sleeving like 3 or 4 games can
buy
another
game?
Whole new game if the whole thing got destroyed.
That's what I'm talking about.
And here's the other thing too. The way I look at it, I'm not going to sleeve a card unless that card is worth like $10 to $20, because the only cards I sleeve are Magic cards, because you can sell those cards individually for like $10,
yeah.
$25, $50. I have some Magic cards that are like in that $100 range. I'm going to sleeve those because that's a $100 bill I'm sleeving. I would never sleeve a card that costs cents.
Plus, with Magic cards, you're shuffling that deck so often. Yeah. I would break sleeves while playing Magic all the time because I was like, whenever I shuffle, and then they would I would have to get special sleeves that would withstand my punishment because of the punishment that I would give sleeves, because they wouldn't withstand like maybe 1 or 2 games. Like, it was not good.
And Dale, I can understand sleeving some of the deck builder games because you do lots of shuffling. I think my annoyance is the ones I'd want to sleeve are the deck building ones, or I'm sorry, the deck building ones. But then I got to put I feel like I'd have to put sleeves on the new ones that I add in unless I sleeve the whole game. Sleeving the whole game gets very cost prohibitive really quickly.
It is, but even during some of the deck building games and stuff, you don't actually go through those decks the same way you do Magic cards, because like you play with the same, like 50 cards, 60 cards, whatever it is, and for months and months, and then like it's a lot of punishment. Whereas like in a deck building game, you may not go through an entire deck of cards in a deck building game.
Oh, I still play with the cards, Kabuki. I just sleeve them. If a card is worth $100, like I'm definitely gonna have it sleeved, just because I might want to resell it later to buy a house or something.
I've only sleeved 7th Continent and Sleeping Gods. Any other game could be replaced even if I destroyed them. Let's see here.
And that makes sense. If you're getting like a limited edition Kickstarter game that can never be reproduced, I could see sleeving that game. I mean, I put sleeves on our Gugong Deluxe one, but that's because it came with them. I didn't pay extra for them.
Right. I have to
say, it makes it sit in the trays worse.
The only other thing that I probably sleeved was whenever I was playing X-Wing, the damage deck. Because again, you're shuffling that damage deck so often whenever you pull a card and then you put things back in there. Like, that was the other thing. Because you're just shuffling it so often. You know, if you shuffle that, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 13 times a game, like...
Omar knows what's up. Shuffling those EDH decks, those big 100-card decks. I like playing with cards. I like shuffling. I've worn out decks by shuffling them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on.
I just feel like most of these card games, or most of these games that come with cards in these board games, if I'm playing it enough to warrant having to buy another copy because I beat it up by mashing together my cards and playing so much, that game got its value. I got my value out of that game for sure.
Chat is just like insanely cracking me up today. So we have Fatal Paper Cut says, I sleeved all my Gloomhaven, everything. Has Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then Thomas is like, we laminate all our tabletop games. Like, that's fair.
Okay. I actually have, you know, like the frame that they have the picture of Mona Lisa in, where like it's hermetically sealed. And it's got like a pressure sensitive thing.
The white gloves.
I've got my games underneath that, and then I have those little rubber arms you put through, and I'm able to manipulate my game pieces with those little rubber hands that you put through.
Oh,
so it stays in this hermetically sealed, perfect atmosphere, and I'm able to move stuff. And if like acidity or humidity gets too high, an alarm goes off, so I know my game's being touched.
Okay, so what about coin capsules? Do you do that? Heck no. If we're not sleeving the games, we're not putting capsules on coins. And Amanda says, I just lost my mind last night trying to shuffle the small ticket to ride cards. So did everybody else, and that's why they made an expansion specifically for that. Because for real, I tried doing that too because somebody had purchased it, and I was showing them how to play it. And I got to the small cards. I was like, what the heck are these? Because I had forgotten that that was an expansion that we had got.
So Cohen actually brings up a good point. Say, just leave the whole board game. There are so many people that get so angry about board game sleeves, like in Honey Buzz or those other games that come with sleeves that go with board game. They're like, it just stops me from getting to the game faster. I can't handle these sleeves around board games. But then they sleeve all their cards. I don't understand it.
Battlecry is having their games translated into holograms, which is probably the way to go, actually, really. I mean, that's the ultimate protection.
Fatal Paper Cut. There's literally zero reason to sleeve a good portion of Gloomhaven, but I did it anyway.
If the universe is a hologram and then we make games into a hologram, are we creating a universe within our universe of holograms? I mean, just think about that for a little bit, okay?
Hey, a lot of respect for you people that are willing to spend the extra money on that. If I'm playing a game enough that I want to get coin capsules, I'm just going to see if I can get like a Meeple Source wood tokens instead. Or go to Etsy and print off stuff.
So Kabuki says, coin capsules are good for games where you pull chits from bags a lot since they can wear out a lot. And that is true. I agree with that, Kabuki.
You know how many games we have like that, though?
We don't have many of those games.
Rococo is the only one I can think of.
A lot of them we don't end up liking. There's a lot of favorites out there that I don't particularly enjoy. Sorry. Sorry.
I feel like the money you could spend on not getting coin capsules, though, you could almost just get Geek Up bits or something from like Board Game Geek or something whenever those come out. So, a coin capsule are those little clear plastic ones that you can put like your tokens in and put a thing over it.
Yeah,
Like Petter just upgraded his Marvel Champions, and it was like $35, and it was for a bunch of little plastic printed pieces and stuff. I would do that before I would buy coin capsules to protect cardboard pieces.
If you're playing with your game that much, it makes sense. At one time, I had sleeved an entire Munchkin. Yeah. And it was a lot of cards, but I was playing that game like...
And you were taking it to conventions.
All the time. And I was taking it to conventions, and I was showing it to people. Yeah.
That makes more sense.
And for that reason, I sleeved those, and then like... But it's annoying to put them all in there and get all the matching ones. Like, it didn't last long. It did not last long.
Just Joe Blogs was the best. Hey, that actually reminds me. I saw somebody doing an unboxing, and what they did is they flipped the game over. They cut the plastic off the back end, so they left the plastic around the whole top as much of it as they could. They opened it, they unpunched it, and then they put that plastic sealed top back onto it, so only the back of the board game was actually not still in cellophane. So when they slid it into their shelves, they were like, that way it protects the art on the front. And I was just like, what are we doing? This is getting intense. You can replace most of these games for like $40, $60. You know, I got like a used copy of a game that was missing pieces for like, I think like $20, $15 to replace a game that like I had worn out a little bit. It just seems...
So
I have nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, my friend got the coin capsules for his Quacks. That's the one I was thinking of specifically that a lot of people have done because it is a bag building game and you're throwing them all in there and everything. But
if it makes the gameplay better, I can see it. If you're sleeving a game where you don't have to shuffle the cards constantly, I don't understand it personally. But that's my choice. Also, I must not make as much money as some of you. Because I can either back sleeves or I can back board games. Not both.
Okay, here's the thing. If you want to sleeve your game, definitely sleeve your game. If you don't, that's totally fine. Same with coin capsules and stuff.
No judgment, but you crazy.
No judgment.
I mean, no judgment.
No judgment, doctor. No judgment.
Look, I can't even afford to get a haircut right now. You think I'm going to be buying sleeves? It ain't happening.
Here's the thing. If I'm going to go purchase a used game and it's all sleeve and coin capsuled, that's cool. And I'm okay with that.
That's true. We've done that.
Okay.
We've definitely done that.
Then I appreciate you greatly. Okay? I appreciate that.
I think the only upgrades I've gotten is I've gotten some upgrades to like our favoriteest games, or I've gotten like an insert organizer because the game was such a beast to put together. The insert helped me play it more, but that's it.
Just sleeve your hair. I'd just get like one of those like really big, tall sleeves so I could look like Frankenstein's bride or something up like that. That'd be fine. Protect your hair. That's how you do it, okay?
The only game I've had to buy a replacement copy of, I think, was Skull King, and that's because it's a spades game, and you're shuffling it a bunch, but the game also costs like $20, so it was okay to replace it.
Like $10 or $12 maybe.
It might even be like 15. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it was and we just got 2 the next time. So when we wear out the other one, then you do that. Yes,
I'll tell you, I was looking at the upgrades for the Marvel Champion tokens, and I was like, ooh, I might need these.
Don't gorilla glue your hair. I agree, Amanda. It's bad news. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Are people doing that?
Yeah, people are doing that. Well, I'll talk to you about it later. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for everybody who joined us today and talked about sleeves and little coin capsules. We really, really appreciate it. We appreciate all of you being here.
Sleeve talk.
We had so much fun with all of you today.
Sleeve talk.
Let us know in the comments what you are backing this week. And if you're new to this shebang, make sure to like and subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified whenever we go live.
No, actually, no, you leave in the comments. Tell us if you're a sleever or a diehard non-sleever. I want to know so I can start making lists of people.
And then buy their games?
Maybe. I need to know who my diehard sleevers are and my non-sleevers are.
And you know what? If you're hanging out, go ahead and give our video a thumbs up because that helps us go up in all the search engines and everything. That would be super lovely. And Discord party after this. The link is in the description. Tonight we will not be doing our app-based game battle stuff and everything because I have some events that I am going to. And we will be returning next week on Tuesday with Snallygaster.
It's a non-board game related. It's not a cool event.
It is not a cool
it's
event.
Lame.
It is not. So we will be returning next week with Snallygasters. Also, Vampire the Masquerade Rivals has announced organized play. And I'm thinking about entering organized play, everyone, and streaming it.
Is it live or is it like on Tabletopia?
It'll be the first, so season 0, I believe, is going to be on Tabletopia. And then, because I love tournament events, and I haven't done any in a long time, and I feel like now I at least maybe have some time to do one. I would love to do.
And usually the big thing that turns you off from tournament events are sweaty, smelly guys being like, "You're a girl, how do you play cards?" So, I mean, it seems a win-win. They can't really do that on Tabletopia.
Right, absolutely. Like, nobody knows on Tabletopia. I have a very...
Oh, everybody knows.
Oh, gosh, everybody knows on Tabletopia.
Now, metal coins are different, Omar. Don't bring those into this.
Oh, but thank you for everybody who joined us today. We will see all of you next week. Bye.